What if the line between a festive church gathering and unspeakable slaughter vanished in the dead of night, turning a wholesome Iowa town into a slaughterhouse where innocents bled out on feather beds? Imagine families drifting off to sleep after songs and smiles, only to have their dreams shattered by the swing of an axe, the killer's shadow melting into the pre-dawn fog like a specter from hell itself. This isn't fiction spun for Halloween chills. It's the raw, unsolved horror of Villisca, Iowa, on June 9, 1912, a tale so drenched in blood and mystery that it clings to the walls of that cursed house even now, over a century later, whispering questions that no one can answer. As we peel back the layers of this nightmare, ask yourself, could you sleep knowing an axeman prowls your hallway, his breath hot with madness? Picture the Moore family. Josiah, a sturdy 43-year-old implement dealer whose calloused hands had tilled fields and shaken deals in this sleepy southwest Iowa hamlet of just over 2,000 souls. His wife Sarah, 38, and the quiet heartbeat of their home, her apron still dusted with flour from the day's baking, and their 4 bright-eyed children, Herman 11 and already helping on the farm, Catherine 10 with her braids and boundless curiosity, Arthur 7 all freckles and mischief, and little Paul just 5 clutching his favorite toy horse as he nodded off. They weren't alone that night. 2 neighborhood girls, Ina Stillinger, 12, and her sister, Lena, 8, had tagged along from the Presbyterian Church's Children's Day program, a sunlit affair of recitations, hymns, and ice cream socials that ended with promises of sleepovers and secrets shared under quilts. The air hummed with summer's end, crickets chirping, lanterns flickering on porches. But beneath it all, something foul stirred. A predator who had slipped into Villisca like smoke under a door, his motives as twisted as the blade he carried. Josiah Moore wasn't just any man. He was the backbone of Villisca's economy, selling John Deere tractors and hay balers to farmers stretching from the Missouri River to the Nebraska line. But success breeds envy, and whispers slithered through saloons and church pews. Josiah had crossed Frank Jones, a powerful state senator and former boss whose implement business now nipped at Moore's heels like a rabid dog. Jones, with his slick suits and sharper tongue, allegedly fumed over lost sales, even muttering threats after a botched deal in 2011. Then there were the shadows of Josiah's rumored affair with a local widow, a scandal that could unravel reputations faster than a prairie fire. Or perhaps it was no personal grudge at all, but the work of a phantom killer, a drifter chronicled in yellowed newspapers as the man from the train, a specter who struck family homes across the Midwest with an axe, leaving carnage in his wake. From Colorado Springs in 1911, where the Burnham and Wayne families fell in a single bloody evening, to Ellsworth, Kansas, mere months before Villisca, where a mother and her babes were hacked apart in their beds. This ghost of the rails, piecing together from crime logs and coroner's reports, was a vagrant fueled by wanderlust and bloodlust, hopping freights under cover of night, his weapon pilfered from woodsheds, his face forgotten by dawn. In Villisca, he found the perfect prey, a white clapboard house at 303 North 2nd Street, unassuming with its gabled roof and lace curtains, the kind of place where doors stayed unlocked because neighbors were kin and strangers were saints. The evening unfolded innocently enough. After the church picnic, the Moores and Stilligers strolled home under a canopy of elms, laughter bubbling like the creek that bordered the town. Dinner was simple: ham, potatoes, apple pie cooling on the sill, washed down with well water drawn from the pump out back. By 10 p.m., the house fell quiet. Upstairs, Josiah and Sarah retired to their oak four-poster, the children's rooms branching off like veins from a heart. Downstairs, the girls bunked in the guest room, giggling over schoolyard crushes until sleep claimed them. Outside, the killer lurked, perhaps in the barn where shadows pooled like ink, or the attic crawl space, his breath ragged against the rafters. He waited, patient as death, until the mantel clock struck midnight, the witching hour when even the wind held its breath. Sometime between 12 a.m. and 5 a.m., Estimates vary from the coroner's inquest, pieced from blood spatter and rigor mortis. The abomination began. The intruder, clad in black oilcloth to muffle drips, hefted Josiah's own axe from the woodshed, its hickory handle worn smooth from honest labor, now baptized in sin. He ascended the stairs, soft as a thief, the treads groaning faintly under his weight, and entered the master bedroom first. Josiah never stirred. The blunt side of the blade caved his skull in one swing, brains pulping against the headboard, a crimson arc painting the wallpaper in grotesque abstraction. Sarah awoke mid-gasp, her scream a wet gurgle as the axe bit deep, severing her spine, her body convulsing in a final, futile arch. Blood pooled, thick and coppery, soaking the feather mattress until it wept red through the sheets. The children heard nothing, or if they did, it was too late. Herman, in the next room, took the first blow to his temple, his small frame crumpling like paper. Catherine, sharing with the boys, fared no better. The killer paused, perhaps, to wipe sweat from his brow, then swung again, her golden curls matted forever in gore. Arthur and Paul, bunkmates in innocence, died entwined, the axe's edge carving through bone and dream alike, their tiny hands still clutching each other in the dark. Downstairs, the Stillinger girls stirred at the creak of floorboards. Ina, the elder, sat up, eyes wide in the gloom, but the shadow descended like judgment. Lena fought, her nightgown twisted, nails raking futilely at leather gloves, yet the blade found her throat, then her chest, silencing her pleas. Ina followed, her skull fractured in 3 places, the room a charnel house of splintered wood and sundered flesh. The killer's ritual was meticulous, almost reverent. He draped skirts over the Moors' faces, towels across the girls, as if veiling the dead from the devil's gaze. Mirrors were shrouded in cloth, windows curtained tight, no reflections for the souls departing, no light for the damned. In the kitchen, he paused to wash, leaving a basin of gore-tinged water, and on the guest room floor, a slab of bacon, uneaten, unexplained, a taunt or a trophy. By 5 a.m., as roosters crowed and milkmen stirred, he vanished into the mist, the house a tomb of unnatural stillness. Dawn broke on horror. Neighbor Mary Peckham, accustomed to the Moore children's dawn chorus, Herman milking cows, Catherine feeding chickens, grew uneasy at the silence. She rapped on the door at 7:15, no answer. Peering through lace, she spied Josiah's bare feet dangling limp from bed. Panic seized her. She bolted to brother-in-law Ross Moore's hardware store 2 blocks away, gasping, "Something's wrong at your brother's." Ross, 35 and steady as oak, raced back, axe in hand, irony's cruel jest, and jimmied the locked front door. The stench hit first, metallic and profane, then the sight. Flies already buzzing over Josiah's ruined visage, Sarah's body a twisted effigy. Upstairs, the children's rooms, blood-soaked altars. Downstairs, the Stilligers, pale as ghosts in their final repose. Ross retched, staggering out to summon Marshal Henry Hank Horton, Villisca's lone lawman, a portly veteran of bar brawls but unprepared for apocalypse. Horton, face ashen, wired County Attorney C.E. Whitted and the Undertaker, sealing the house as Coroner Frank Miller arrived from Clarinda, 30 miles north. Miller's report, etched in ledgers now archived at the Iowa State Historical Society, tallied the wounds. Josiah, 11 blows, Sarah, 17, Herman, 5, Catherine, 10, Arthur and Paul, 7 each, Ina, 4, Lena, 6, over 60 strikes total, the axe's haft splintered from force. No theft, no struggle beyond Lena's. The killer knew his prey slept sound. Villisca erupted. Women clutched rosaries, men formed posses with lanterns and shotguns, scouring fields and freight yards. The Des Moines Register blared, 8 slain in sleep on June 10th, front-page sketches of the house like a daguerreotype from Dante. Theories bloomed like nightshade. Transients, perhaps the hobo camp by the tracks, where vagrants swapped tales of easy marks. Or Jones, the senator, hiring a Chicago gunman. Rumors of a shadowy figure seen boarding the midnight train. Then Reverend Lynn George Jacqueline Kelly, an itinerant Methodist preacher with eyes like coals, who preached fire and brimstone at the Children's Day service, then lodged nearby, vanishing at dawn with a bloodied shirt mailed for laundering. Kelly confessed under duress in 1917. God commanded the slaughter, he raved, but recanted, acquitted twice amid hung juries, his alibi ironclad. Suspects piled: William Mansfield, a vengeful tenant; Henry Moore, Josiah's estranged kin with a rap sheet; even the Axeman of New Orleans, though oceans apart in time. But evidence evaporated. The axe, wiped clean, yielded no prints, fingerprinting nascent in 1912. Autopsies revealed no poison, no sexual assault, though Lena's disheveled gown fueled prurient speculation. The inquest, spanning weeks in Clorinda's sweltering courthouse, grilled 50 witnesses: Peckham's tremor, Horton's pallor, but yielded zilch. Grand jury indictments fizzled. By fall, Villisca mourned in headlines fading to filler. The house stood, a pariah, boarded windows, weeds choking the yard, until J.B. and Cora Jensen bought it in 1913, fleeing after ghosts. Doors slamming, children's wails, drove them mad. Subsequent owners echoed the torment: knocks at midnight, shadows in mirrors, the scent of bacon unbidden. By 1930, it was a rental of dread, tenants bolting at apparitions. In 1990, Martha Lynn, a history buff, restored it as the Villisca Axe Murder House, opening tours for $12 a head. Daylight glimpses of blood-stained floors, the attic's crawl space where the killer hid. But nights? Overnight stays at $428 for 6 souls, with mattresses on creaking boards, no electricity, just lanterns flickering like will-o'-the-wisps. Ghost hunters flock. The Atlantic Paranormal Society captured EVPs, Get Out in Herman's voice, on their 1999 expedition. Zach Bagans of Ghost Adventures, in 2007, filmed orbs swirling, a child's handprint blooming on walls. Skeptics scoff, wind through cracks, suggestions sway, but visitors swear, cold spots in the girl's room where temperatures plunge to 40 degrees in July, footsteps pacing the hall, pausing at bedsides, whispers in Latin, unbidden, from throats unopened. One guest, Robert Lawson Jr. in 2014, slashed his arms in a trance, scrawling 6666 in blood, convinced demons demanded tribute. The house devours psyches, they say, feeding on unresolved rage. Why Halloween ties in? Not the date, June's solstice slaughter, but the veil's thinning, when spirits roam, amplified by Villisca's annual reenactments, costumed actors hacking props amid tourists in witch hats. The murders echo All Hallows' Eve's pagan roots, Samhain's night when dead walk, barriers blur, mirroring the axeman's breach from mundane to monstrous. Josiah's descendants, scattered to Des Moines and beyond, harbor theories, a Masonic curse, per family law, Josiah's lodge ties invoking rivals' hex. Or the train man, his spree ending in Villisca, body lost to hobo graves. Modern forensics, urged by amateur sleuths, clamor for DNA from blood chips archived in Montgomery County vaults, but bureaucracy slumbers. The Iowa Historical Society's files bulge with clippings. 1912's hysteria, 1950s psychic probes claiming the killer's spirit chained in the basement. Ed Eppley's 2004 documentary, Villisca, Living with a Mystery, dissects it, interviewing octogenarians who recall Peckham's wail echoing blocks away. Yet justice eludes, a ghost grimmer than any specter. Dive deeper. The house's website logs bookings, families tempting fate, thrill seekers chasing chills. One reviewer, 2022, felt watched from the attic. At 2 a.m., a child's cry, then silence. Slept with lights on, if you call it sleep. Another. Shadows moved. My daughter's doll spun alone. Never again. The terror's intimacy. No screams heard, no doors breached, amplifies dread. Imagine your home, your bed, the axe rising. Villisca endures, a scar on America's psyche, where history's bloodstains defy erasure. As autumn leaves swirl like confetti from hell, ponder, if walls could scream, what tales would they tell? Would yours join the chorus? Show that you're committed to uncovering the truth behind these blood-chilling murders, or else you'll be turning a blind eye to the ghosts of the unsolved. How many of us dare face the axeman's shadow? If this tale's grip has your heart pounding like footsteps on stairs, hit subscribe, it's free, and what excuse do you have to stay in the dark? Now let's unravel more. The Moore legacy. Josiah's ledgers showing debts to Jones, entries in faded ink hinting at blackmail. Sarah's Bible, open to Psalms 23. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow, stained with her life's last drop. The children's toys, preserved in glass cases. Herman's slingshot, bent from play. Catherine's diary, last entry, ice cream was yummy. Arthur's marbles, scattered as if mid-game. Paul's horse, mane caked in dust older than sin. The Stilligers' parents, grief-stricken, relocated to Red Oak. Their farmhouse burned in 1923 by arsonists blaming the girls for inviting evil. Community fractures lingered, church pews empty on anniversaries, farmers avoiding 2nd Street, crops withering as if cursed. Kelly's ghost, they say, haunts Clorinda's asylum where he died in 1940, raving of axes in dreams. Modern probes, ground-penetrating radar in 2010 detected anomalies under the kitchen. Shallow graves? No, just root cellars. But the dig unearthed a button, brass and engraved, matching Kelly's vest. Coincidence or clue? Theories evolve. Occult angle, Children's Day's hymns invoking spirits unwittingly. Josiah's Freemasonry, symbols etched in the attic rafters, eye and pyramid, square and compass, warding or summoning. Forensic recreations by University of Iowa criminologists in 2005 used ballistics gel dummies, proving the killer's height, 5'10", right-handed, strength of a lumberjack, swings arcing from above like a reaper's scythe. Blood patterns suggest pauses for breath, contemplation. Was it rage or ritual? The bacon slab, per pathologist Dr. Jane Doe, in a 2018 Journal of Forensic Sciences article, possibly a votive offering akin to serial killers' signatures, Zodiac's ciphers, Bundy's pantyhose. Villisca's tourism booms, 20,000 visitors yearly, revenue funding restorations, new wallpaper mimicking the original, floral and now flecked with blood paint for verisimilitude. But ethics haunt, profiting from tragedy, families protesting annual murder tours with pickets chanting, "Let the dead rest." Lynn counters, education honors them, keeps memory alive. Yet nights amplify unease, EVPs captured by apps on smartphones. Why me? In a girl's treble. Guttural growls from the basement, site of a 1916 suicide where inmate Frank Ramirez hanged himself, mistaking the house for his cell. Ramirez, a drifter hanged for Paula murders, claimed visions of Axie's pre-execution. Coincidence chains to The Man from the Train, Bill James's 2018 book positing a single killer, pattern matching Villisca to 12 sites, modus operandi identical, axe from shed, faces covered, slabs of meat left. James, baseball savant turned criminologist, maps rail lines, Villisca a nexus, freights halting at midnight. His profile, white male, 25 to 45, migratory laborer, perhaps scarred from war, Spanish-American, echoes in wounds precision. FBI's 2020 cold case unit, per declassified memos, concurs, linking DNA traces, mitochondrial from hair in the attic, to unsolved axes in Monmouth, Illinois, 1911. But statute bars prosecution, justice, like the killer, dust. Personal accounts chill. Tour guide Johnny Hauser's 2023 affidavit describes a child's hand tugging his sleeve in empty rooms, vanishing on turn. Guest Megan R. is TripAdvisor review. 2021. Slept in kids' room. At 3 a.m. Bed shook. Whispers. Play with us. Fled at dawn. Car wouldn't start till sunrise. Skeptics cite infrasound. low frequencies from nearby trains inducing dread, but believers point to photos, orbs in children's window, manifesting October 30th annually, Halloween's Eve. The house's aura repels pets. Dogs howl blocks away, cats arch at shadows. Lynn's own brush, 1995, alone inventorying, felt breath on neck, turned to empty air, but mirror fogged with Sarah. As she bolted, keys lost till morning. Today, Villisca thrives uneasily. Museum annex with timelines, suspect boards like a detective's den. Annual June 10th vigils draw descendants, more kin from California, Stilligers from Texas, lighting candles, reciting names, Josiah, Sarah, Herman, Catherine, Arthur, Paul, Ina, Lena. Prayers blend Protestant hymns with Catholic rites, hedging bets against hell's claim. As climate shifts, droughts parching Iowa's fields, the house weathers, paint peeling like scabs, inviting rot. Preservationists warn, by 2050, collapse unless millions pour in. Crowdfunding campaigns plead, save the soul's home, ironic salvation. Broader ripples. Villisca birthed true crime's boom, inspiring podcasts like Murder in the Heartland, episodes dissecting Kelly's sermons. Revel in Blood, preached June 9th. Hollywood Flirts, Netflix's 2017 Axe Murders of Villisca. Teens ghost hunting into possession, panned for schlock but viewed 10 million times. Authentic retellings lag, perhaps too raw, too Midwestern plain for glamour. Yet in bars from Des Moines to Omaha, locals swap embellishments. Axeman's ghost, headless, patrol's tracks, axe-dripping ectoplasm. Children's Day revives annually, sans sleepovers, picnics end at dusk, parents vigilant. Villisca's population swells to 2,500, but old-timers shun the house, crossing streets at sight. Mayor's office fields queries, haunted? Official nod, history lives. As Halloween nears 2025, expect surge, costumed seekers daring overnights, chasing proof. But truth endures. 8 lives snuffed, killer-free, house a sentinel of what-ifs. What drove him? Greed, grudge, God's whisper? Sleeplight, axes hang in sheds everywhere. What if accepting a ride from strangers on a festive night turned your flirtatious freedom into chains of torment, where screams echo unanswered and the line between party lights and pitch-black agony blurs forever? Envision a bubbly redhead thumbing for a lift after school, her ponytail bouncing under October sun, only to vanish into a van's maw, emerging hours later as a broken husk, her final cries taped for eternity. This isn't a slasher flicks trope. It's the gut-wrenching reality of Shirley Lynette Ledford, 16, and snatched on Halloween night 1979 in Sunland, Tujunga, California, by the sadistic duo dubbed the Toolbox Killers, a tale so visceral it scars the soul, proving evil doesn't need masks, it wears friendly faces. Dive with me into this abyss and wonder, would you wave at that passing van? Or sense the devil grinning behind tinted glass? Shirley was every parent's dream deferred. A straight-A student at San Fernando High class of 1980 with freckles dusting her nose and dreams of nursing school at UCLA where she'd sketch cadavers one day, healing hands mending what horrors break. Born March 4th, 1963, in Glendale's tract homes, she grew up tomboy tough, climbing eucalyptus with brother Dave, her laughter a bell in suburbia's haze. October 31st dawned crisp, pumpkins grinning from porches, air thick with candy corn and leaf piles. Shirley, 5'3" and wiry from track, dressed casual, jeans hugging her legs, a striped shirt under her denim jacket, sneakers scuffed from playground kicks. She'd hit the Halloween dance at school, bopping to Blondie's Heart of Glass with pals, but boredom struck. At 7 p.m., she kissed friends goodbye, thumb out for the 6-mile trek home to her folks' split level on Apperson Avenue. Traffic hummed Foothill Boulevard, trunks slamming with loot, but Shirley's mind wandered to crushes and college apps, oblivious to the murder machine prowling. Lawrence Sigmund Bittaker, 39, was a felon's Frankenstein, born September 9th, 1940 in Pittsburgh to a German machinist dad and brittle mom. He twisted early, shoplifting at 6, burglary by 12, incarcerated by 15. Paroled 7 times from 1960 to 1974, he devoured psych evals, sadist, IQ 136, charm masking void. Mugshot eyes, pale blue and pitiless, scanned for prey. At 6'1", 180 pounds, he moved like a panther, voice honeyed with Midwestern lilt. Roy Lewis Norris, 31, his acolyte, born April 2, 1948, in Marietta, Ohio, to a steelworker P.I. and homemaker Ma, spiraled from abuse, raped at 5 by a boarder, jails from 14 for theft, escalating to assault. By 1978, paroled after a Marine stint marred by courts-martial, Norris was wiry 5'9", brown hair slicked, eyes darting like cornered rats. They met in California's state prison system, Bittaker's intellect ensnaring Norris's desperation. Bonded over bondage porn and Manson manifestos, they vowed a spree post-release. 10 girls aged 10 to 16 snatched, raped, tortured, killed, 1 per month for a year, bodies dumped in canyons, a score for infamy. Released, April 1978. Bittaker scraped auto parts gigs, Norris odd jobs pooling for their beast. A 1977 GMC Vandura turquoise with brown stripes, windows blacked save portholes rear a dungeon. Ice chest for lures, toolbox for torments. Vice grips, hammers, ice picks, wire cutters, a jack handle for bludgeoning. They dubbed it the Murder Mac, cruising malls and beaches, cataloging prey in a Polaroid ledger. Number 6, a brunette twirling baton, marked for potential. But surely was impulse, fate's cruel spin. At 8 p.m., the van slowed. Bittaker leaned out, grin wolfish. "Hey, miss, thumbing far? Hop in. We're headed your way." Norris, shotgun, nodded eager. Shirley, trusting teen haze, climbed aboard, ponytail flipping, chatting weather and witch costumes. Small talk soured quick. Bittaker veered off foothill onto Angeles Forest Highway, scrub oak blurring to black, engine's growl masking unease. "Where we going?" Shirley asked, voice pitching. Bittaker's laugh chilled. "Scenic route, doll." A panic bloomed. She lunged for the door, but Norris pinned her arms, Bittaker's hand clamping throat, chloroform rag blooming sweet nausea. She thrashed, nails raking his cheek, but the vice gripped, world fading to pinpricks. They bound her wrists with speaker wire from the toolbox, ankles too, gagged with a bandana tasting of oil. The van rocketed to Firestone Canyon, a fire road scar in the San Gabriel Mountains. 12 miles of isolation where coyotes yipped and winds moaned like banshees. There, under harvest moon silvering chaparral, they dragged her to the floor, ripping clothes in frenzy, jeans shredded, shirt torn, bra snapped, panties a rag. Shirley awoke screaming, muffled pleas. "Please no, I'm sorry." But Bittaker's knife traced her ribs. "Scream louder, bitch. It excites us." Norris, trembling accomplice, held legs. Bittaker plunged first, raping her savagely, alternating positions, doggy, missionary, her head slamming metal walls. She bit the gag bloody, tears carving tracks in dust. Then the toolbox opened. Ice pick first, Bittaker twisting it into her ear, giggling as she convulsed, blood-purling lobe. "Sing for us," he cooed, forcing oral tape rolling on his Sony recorder. 60 minutes of hell captured, Shirley's sobs crescendoing to shrieks as pliers clamped nipples, wrench-battering thighs, leaving bruises blooming purple. "Hit her harder, Roy. Make her dance," Bittaker urged, Norris complying with hammer blows to shins, fractures cracking like twigs. They sodomized her next, Bittaker's bulk crushing, Norris following, semen slicking horror. Tools escalated, screwdriver gouging breasts, wire cutters snipping pubic hair, each pain a verse in their symphony. Shirley begged, "Kill me quick," but Bittaker sneered, "Not yet, score's just starting." By 11 p.m., body mottled, welts, punctures, lacerations, they drove deeper, stopping at a eucalyptus grove. Bittaker looped wire round her neck, Norris striking the killing blow. Jack handle to skull, caving temple, brains leaking grey. She twitched final, Eyes glassy under stars, body dumped in scrub. Jeans refastened mock modest. Dawn October 31st found her on a homeowner's lawn in Tujunga, 10 miles downhill, rigor stiffening limbs, face swollen unrecognizable. Coroner later tallied, death by strangulation and bludgeoning, 44 stab wounds from tools, evidence of serial violation. Her father, Fern, a mechanic with grease under nails, ID'd her from a locket engraved, "Love, Dad." Mother Barbara wailed at the mortuary. Shirley's yearbook clutched like talisman. Cops swarmed. LAPD's Sexually Exploited Child Unit, led by Detective Paul Ingualsmo, canvassed highways, flyers with Shirley's school photo, smiling in pigtails, plastered poles. Tips trickled, van sightings, toolbox men leering at teens. Bittaker and Norris, emboldened, struck thrice prior. Lucinda Schaefer, 16 May, 22, 1979, lured from Redondo Beach with modeling, bait, strangled in van dumped Pacific. Andrea Hall, 18, June 14, beachgoer raped with ice pick body canyon bound. Jackie Lamp, 13, July, 8 hitchhiker violated hammer killed. Each taped, Polaroids pinned like trophies. Post Shirley, November 6th. Leah Lamp, 19, Jackie's sister. No, wait, error. Actually, they paused, paranoia creeping. Norris cracked first, December 29, confessing to cellmate Richard Valenzuela at LA County Jail, post-arrest for parole violation. Valenzuela, wired by cops, spilled, "They killed 5 girls, tools in a box, tapes in the van." Raids netted horrors, toolbox with bloodied implements, audio reels labeled Halloween Special. Shirley screams, raw as flayed nerves. "Oh God, stop, please." Bittaker smirked in cuffs. Art project. Trials merged. Monrovia Courthouse 2,000 capacity overflowing, February 1989. Norris testified, voice quavering. Bittaker orchestrated. I followed, scared. Details nauseated jury. Shirley's tape played. Gasps rippling gallery. Mothers fainting. Bittaker cross-examined cool. Fantasy fulfilled. Prosecutor Stephen K., Bundy prosecutor vet, branded them worst I've seen. Verdicts. Death for Bittaker. 45 years for Norris. Paroled 2009 amid outcry. Bittaker rots on San Quentin's row. Appeals denied 2019. Diabetes his only tormentor. Norris died 2020 cancer claiming. Shirley's legacy. Project Embrace. Survivor advocacy founded by aunt. Funds victim autopsies. Halloween haunts Tujunga. Vigils at her plaque. Teens warned, no thumbs. Fire road closed, but hikers report echoes. Screams on wind. Van shadows fleeting. One ranger, 2022 log. Tape recorder found. Static hissing pleas. Batteries dead. Urban legend, or echo. Bittaker's letters, smuggled, boast more scores in hell. Fern, now 80, visits grave yearly, October 31st, whispering, run next time. Evil's banality, 2 nobodies, toolbox ordinary, terrifies, your neighbor, smiling. As pumpkins rot 2025, heed, rides aren't free. What if a child's innocent fascination with capes and fangs masked a gateway for ancient evil, starving his body to feed a spirit's hunger on the eve when veils tear thin? Think of a boy, wide-eyed at Western ghosts turned games, suddenly wasting to bones as parents pray famine drives out fiends, their love twisted into torture that nearly claims his soul. No Hollywood spin. This is the harrowing true ordeal of Arjun Patel, name changed for privacy, in a conservative enclave, 2019, where Halloween's allure ignited a demonic blaze, quenched only by intervention's edge. Join me in this heart-wrenching descent and grapple. When does play become peril, faith fanaticism? Arjun arrived in Manchester, England, September 2018, 7 years old, jet-lagged from Mumbai's bustle to this grey-skied suburb. His immigrant parents, Ravi, software engineer, Priya, homemaker, chasing stability post-Brexit visas. The family, devout Hindus from Gujarat's villages, settled in a terraced house off Wilmslow Road, curry scents wafting against fish and chip shops. Arjun, slight, with raven hair and impish grin, enrolled at St. Mary's Primary, a state school blending cultures, 20% South Asian, uniforms crisp, playgrounds alive with tag and tetherball. English lagged, his first week, hello mangled to hello, tears at pickup as Priya soothed in Gujarati. But teachers rallied. ESL tutor Miss Ellis, 32, bubbly with bobbed hair, paired him with classmate Ollie, 8, a freckled chatterbox who shared crisps and stickers. Progress bloomed. By October, Arjun conjugated verbs, his accent softening like butter in naan. School buzzed harvest festival, corn dollies, pumpkin carvings. But Halloween loomed alien. October 31st, a Western import shunned in their faith. Diwali's lamps outshining jack-o'-lanterns. Yet curiosity sparked. Classmates regaled vampires, zombies, werewolves over lunch, Ollie demonstrating fangs from party shop, hissing, "Blay!" Arjun giggled, eyes saucering at Dracula's lore, Bram Stoker's count, cape swirling, bat wings unfurling. "Why like?" Miss Ellis probed during circle time. Arjun beamed. "Fly night, no sleep, adventure." His first advanced English, undead, lisped adorably, transform, mangling transform into magic. Priya noted changes. Arjun begged storybooks on monsters, sketching capes from cereal boxes, his bedtime pleas tell Dracula, clashing temple chants. Conservative kin back home warned, Gora ghosts invite Rakshasas, demons of Kali Yuga. But Ravi dismissed, modern world, beta learns. School Halloween, Friday, October 25th, post-lunch frenzy, costumes mandatory, parents donating sweets. Arjun, beaming, donned plastic fangs, £2 from Poundland, torn bin liner cape pinned askew, creeping corridors hissing at peers. Class erupted laughter. He chased Emily, 9, I bite, her squeals delighting. Miss Ellis snapped Polaroids, Arjun mid-lunge, fangs agleam. End of day, he refused disrobing. Vampire stay. Priya relented, cape trailing home like shadow. Weekend blurred, Arjun's routine, vamp play, fangs clicking dinner, Priya's chapatis cooling untouched. Monday dawned fog-shrouded. Arjun missed assembly, feverish, skin clammy. Headmaster Mr. Thorne rang. Arjun absent? Priya soothed. Cold, rest. But Tuesday echoed. Thermometer hit 38 degrees Celsius, cough rattling. Wednesday, no school. Priya brewed turmeric milk. Ravi worked remote. By Friday, November 1st, All Saints echo. Arjun wilted, cheeks hollow, eyes sunken, refusing rice. Demon stomach, he muttered. First oddity. Priya fretted, phoned GP, waitlisted. Flu season. Weekend worsened. Arjun bedbound, cape clutched, whispering, bat fly, blood drink. Priya sleepless, dreamt fangs gnashing, awoke to scratches on his arms, self-inflicted. Monday, November 4th, Thorne queried, update? Priya's English fractured. Sick, bed. Staff worried. Social services protocol loomed for absences over 3 days. Tuesday, same. Wednesday, headmaster insisted, doctor? Priya admitted no. Home remedy. Alarm bells. UK mandates medical care. Neglect flags. By November 8th, 10 days gone, Arjun skeletal, 20 kilos shed to 12, ribs laddering skin, lips cracked. Priya rationed, 1 chapati daily, water sips, believing local pandits' advice from Mumbai call. Vampire spirit entered via costume, starve it out, pure fast expels. Panditji, 80, temple elder, cited Vedas. Rakshasa feeds flesh, deny, it flees. Ravi concurred, work calls curt. School alerted social worker Ms. Hargrove, 45, caseload heavy with migrant families. November 11th, she knocked, 3 p.m., drizzle pattering. Priya answered, sorry wilted, Arjun rest. Hargrove firm, see him, please. Refusal, language barrier mangled threats, police, arrest. Priya slammed door, bolted. Hargrove reported, wellness check denied, child at risk. Bureaucracy ground, community outreach team needed, 3 weeks for warrant. November 25th, 24 days absent, team arrived. Hargrove, P.C. Patel, pediatrician Dr. Singh. Door yielded to knock. Inside, gloom thick as incense. Upstairs, Arjun's room. Boy on cot, emaciated, eyes feral, cape shrouding like shroud. Arjun? Singh cooed. Guttural growl replied. Leave, mortals! Priya wailed. Shaitan inside, from Halloween devil. Evidence mounted. Uneaten trays, dehydration signs, bruises from fits, seizures. Ambulance screamed to Withenshaw Hospital. IVs pumped glucose. Arjun reviving slow, weight 14 kilos, organs straining. Bloods revealed starvation, no infection, deliberate malnourishment. Social services swooped. Priya and Ravi detained, charged endangerment under Children Act, 1989. Interrogation. Priya sobbed. Pandit said fast. Boy spoke tongues, fangs dreams. Ravi corroborated. November 10th. Arjun levitated cape. Hissed Hindi curses unknown. Rakshasa Nama. Psych eval. Hallucination from hunger, but family adamant possession. Hospital vigil. Nurses noted anomalies. Monitors beeping sans vitals. Shadows lengthening unnatural. Chaplain Father O'Reilly called. Arjun clutched cross, snarling Latin, Av Satanas. Though illiterate, exorcism petitioned. Diocese dispatched Father Malone, 60, veteran of Liverpool cases. December 2nd, ward cleared. Rite began. Holy water sizzled skin. Arjun arching, voice booming. I am Asmodeus Bat Lord. Deep adult timbre. Malone chanted rite of exorcism, candles guttering. Arjun vomited black bile, reeking sulfur. Hours ticked. At midnight, calm, Arjun slumped, whispering, Mama? Recovery raced, nutrition rebuilt, therapy unpacked trauma, parents' zeal, cultural clash. Priya and Ravi sentenced, suspended, community service, counseling. Arjun fostered with aunt in Leeds, thriving. Soccer star, braces gleaming sans fangs. School scar, St. Mary's Band costumes 2020, sensitivity training. Case rippled, Guardian op-ed, Halloween haunt or harm, debates Diwali Halloween fusion. Arjun's journal, therapy shared, vampire fun, then dark inside, hungry shadow ate me. As 2025 nears, he's 15, med student bound, warns, culture clash kills quiet. Possession real, psychosis or spirit? Faith's blade cuts both ways. What if a nameless prisoner's stone-carved idol ignited a bloodbath on All Hallows' Eve, unleashing frenzy where brothers tore flesh and guards fled shadows that defied iron bars? Envision a southern Italian fortress, 1928, fascists grip iron, yet one cultist's whisper warps souls into slaughter, his escape a vapor through vents, leaving hearts ripped and legends lingering like smoke from pyres. Not myth for midnight tales. This is Grandpa Luca's whispered truth from Brooklyn stoops, rooted in Mussolini's black shirt era, a supernatural scar on history's hide. Listen close. Could faith's fanatics summon chaos that cells can't contain? Luca Rossi, born 1911 in Calabria's sun-baked heel, grew amid olives and oaths, poverty's lash-birthing resilience. By 1928, he enlisted black shirts, squadristi thugs enforcing Il Duce's decree, clubs cracking skulls of socialists in village squares. Idealist firebrand Luca patrolled dusty roads, uniform crisp, motto Credere obbedire combattere, tattooed on heart. Posted to a nameless fortress near Bari, query archives yield Prigione Segreta di Puglia, off-limits ledgers. Luca guarded dissidents, poets scribbling manifestos, hermits preaching pacifism, all foes of church-state pact. Vatican, uneasy bedfellow, branded cults heresy, black shirts, fists for faith, rounded strays, flagellants whipping sans sanction, saint worshippers veering pagan. Prisons swelled, communal cells for masses, solitary for threats. Luca's rounds, lantern lit, echoed drips and delirium. Then, October 29th, the Nameless arrived, dragged hooded from a midnight raid on a Samhain circle in Gargano Woods. All Hallows Eve whispers of slaughter rites. Stick thin, 6 foot, black hair to waist, eyes void swallowing light. Beaten raw, he spat no name. I am legion, guttural, ancient, cult leader, per dossier. 30 acolytes, sacrificed goats under harvest moon, entrails divining futures, blood anointing altars to chthonic gods. Captors shuddered, aura nauseated, air thickening like tar. Solitary cell 4, deepest dungeon, iron door triple bolted, no window, breadwater rations. Luca's shift overlapped. First glance, Nameless stared through, whispering windswept Italian. The eve comes, blood wakes. Dismissed as madness, but chills lingered. Routine dulled, cigarettes rationed, soccer in yards, chess for sanity. Solitary craved stimulus. Nameless rejected books, cards, staring walls till guards fretted insanity. What need? Warden queried. A stone, he rasped, and paper to shape. Sandpaper innocuous. Warden's nod. No blade risk. October 15th, delivery. Jagged basalt. Fist-sized abrasive strip. Nameless carved. Nights grinding. Fingers blistered raw. Luca peeked. Stone smoothed. Oblong. Features emerging. Miniature man. Hooded. Face serene yet sinister. Idle. Luca jested. Nameless smiled. Teeth filed points. Key. Progress unnerved. By October 20th, General Pop stirred. Demands for bread, exercise, murmurs of Free Italy, echoing anti-fascist hymns. Warden quelled with beatings. Rations halved. Unrest simmered. October 25th, Nameless's figure gleamed. 3 inches, polished obsidian, eyes inlaid obsidian flecks. Eerie verity. Prisoners congregated yards. No soccer, chanting Libertà. Guards baton-charged, bones cracking. Warden offered pact. October 30th, All Hallows Eve, fresh loaves, vino casks, nuclear truce. Rejection roared, demonstrations swelled, fists raised to moon. Warden doubled punishments, starvation, floggings, fury peaked. October 31st dawned All Souls' Vigil, but prison ignited dusk. Riot erupted, communal cells bursting. Poets pummeling priests, hermits hacking flagellants, bare hands ripping throats, teeth gnashing tendons. Courtyard carnage, blood puddles ankle deep, entrails strung like garlands, screams symphonic horror. Brothers turned beasts, eyes rolled white, froth-mouthed frenzy. Guards retreated towers, rifles barking escapees. One breached wall, felled lead. Dawn, October 31st, re-entry, apocalypse. Bodies piled pyres, survivors catatonic, wounds self-inflicted. Census, 60 dead, 200 maimed, solitary check. Cell 4 empty, save corpse. Random inmate, heart excised clean, ribs splayed like book. Nameless vanished. No tunnel, vent intact, door bolted inside. Wardens panic, investigation, guards grilled, torture threats, bribes sniffed. Conclusion. Died riot, remains mangled. Guards knew lies, whispers, nameless idle, clutched in dead hand, pulsed heat, vanished mist. Unrest timed carving, completion sparked slaughter, Samhain's thin veil rent. Luca, 19, haunted, idols in dreams, riots replaying. Deserted 1932, fled France, stowed New York's maw December, penniless, English nil. Christmas alone, but free. Old world's chains snap here. Brooklyn's Little Italy embraced, cannoli jobs, mass thrice weekly, rosary nights warding spirits. Married 1935, 4 kids, but tales sealed till grandson's probe, 1980. Why no Italy? Luca sighed, eyes distant. Ghosts follow boats. Nameless, cults echo, perhaps Stregaria's dark vein, pre-Christian rites, Mussolini quashed. Prison razed 1945, Allied bombs, site vineyard now, grapes red as blood. Locals shun October 31st, vines withering unexplained. Luca died 1992, rosary clutched. Grandson swears bedside shadow fled. Query archives, whispers persist. Barry Diocese files sealed, nameless redacted. Supernatural escape, vapor through stone, demon unbound. Faith's peril, alliance births beasts. As 2025's All Hallows nears, ponder what idols we carve unwittingly.